caves are the most natural forms of shelter, and they served as homes for humans and animals back when man-made shelter was not readily available. This makes them full of wondrous things that have been protected from the touch of time and the weather. Everybody knows that caves exist, but few are aware of the mysteries that live within them. Some caves hold mysteries and secrets of ancient civilizations, secrets that have been uncovered by the commendable efforts of the bravest archaeologists out there. In this video, we will be talking about some of the most amazing discoveries that have been made in and about caves. Number 3 will definitely blow your mind. Discovered in 2007, this winery dates as far back as 4100 BC and serves as the oldest proof we have of wine production amongst earlier populations. It was found in the Winery 1 cave in Viatzjor, Armenia, by a team of Armenian and Irish archaeologists. This cave contains a 5,500-year-old moccasin, a wine press, withered vines, and what is presumed to be equipment for fermentation and storage. This cave proves that as far back as 4100 BC, people were drinking wine just as much as they do today. Apparently, it's the one thing that never goes out of season or era. This horrifying tale sounds like something out of a horror story, but unfortunately, it is a true life story. This coastal cave in Benane Head, Scotland, was inhabited by a clan of roughly 45 human flesh-eating people. This cave was about 180 meters deep, and the entrance was covered by water during high tide, which kept the cave hidden from the eyes of the nearby villages. The cannibal clan which inhabited the cave was led by a man known as Alexander Bean, commonly referred to as Sawney, and his witch accomplice known as Black Agnes, with whom he produced almost 50 offspring in total. Sawney and his clan would ambush and capture lone travelers, taking them back to their cave to be eaten with their remains stored in barrels and discarded. Usually they got away with this until they attacked an armed man who was able to escape being captured and ran away to tell about the criminals who attacked him. Soon after the attack, King James VI of Scotland sent 400 men and bloodhounds to find the cannibals, and eventually they were captured. The cave was full of human bones and other leftovers, and the Bean clan were all killed and properly wiped out. And so ended their era of terror, and the cannibal cave earned its horrific name. In 1992, a group of farmers discovered a series of sandstone caves within the Fenghuang Hill in the Zhejiang province of China. The most surprising thing about these caves is that they were completely man-made, in varying sizes, typically up to or more than 20 meters deep, and were estimated to have been built about 2,000 years ago. Yet there is no record of their construction in human history. 5 large caverns were discovered in the draining of the pond, and 19 smaller caves were found as well. They all have chisel marks on their walls in a series of parallel bands that serve as the decorative finishing for the walls, roofs, and floors. Even more impressive is the series of drainage systems and water traps, the sloping walls, the south to southwest orientation that maximizes sunlight, and all the other features of these caves that indicate they were built with some purpose in mind. This purpose is yet to be discovered, but there are speculations that the caves were used for reservoirs, a secluded military encampment, or maybe even a palace. However, none of these theories have been accurately proven or disproven. Therefore, the mysterious caves of Longyou continue to keep their secrets, and their origin remains a mystery. Historically, very little is known about Neanderthals, but we know they were the constructors of these stalagmite semicircles discovered within the Bruniquel cave in South France. The entrance to this cave collapsed over 1,000 years ago, sealing it off from the rest of the world and shielding it and its contents for thousands of years. The cave was eventually discovered in 1990 by local speleologists, and upon exploration they found semicircular walls made from broken-off stalagmites. Uranium dating revealed that these stalagmite circles were stacked over 175,000 years ago, hence the name of the cave. There were traces of fire found within these semicircles, and this has caused a lot of speculation on their function. The nearby burnt bone suggests that they were used for ritual killings. Other theories say they were simply used to provide heat for the Neanderthals. But since there are no Neanderthals around to prove or dismiss our theories, the speculations on the function of what is considered one of the oldest man-made structures continues. Also known as the Qumran Cave Scrolls, the Dead Sea Scrolls were first discovered in the Qumran Caves near Ain Feshka on the northern shore of the Dead Sea. These are a set of incomplete Jewish manuscripts that have had a sweeping effect on religious schools of thought since their discovery. They were discovered over a period of 10 years and number almost 15,000 scrolls and fragments in total. They were originally discovered by accident when two teenage shepherds stumbled upon a cave containing large clay jars that contained well-preserved leather scrolls. They sold these to an antique dealer, and the scripts eventually ended up with the authorities in the religious text at the time. These manuscripts were from the Second Temple period and were determined to have been written somewhere between the 3rd century BC and the 1st century CE. They serve as evidence of the diversity of religious theories in Second Temple Judaism. They are written mostly in Hebrew, but some of the scripts are written in the Aramaic language. These scrolls contain extra biblical books and are the oldest surviving manuscripts of several books that were later included in the Jewish biblical canons. The books are currently being kept in the shrine of the Book of the Israeli Museum in Jerusalem, but the custody is a point of dispute by Palestinian and Jordan authorities. However, despite their religious importance and impact on our history, the author of these scrolls remains unknown. Ever heard of a forest growing more than 200 meters below a mountain? Get ready to have your mind blown. The Longyou Cave is the largest cave in the world, but what's more impressive about it is the thriving ecosystem enclosed within it. The roof of this cave collapsed about 500,000 years ago, creating two natural skylights, also known as dolines, which allow sunlight inside the cave, allowing the growth of several plants within the cave. Not just algae and mosses. There are several large trees that reach 40 meters in height, and shrubs growing within the cave. Scientists have estimated a whopping number of about 200 species of plants growing in the mini forest within the Longyou Cave. To go with the plant life and further the ecosystem, there are multiple species of fish and other aquatic life within the underwater streams and ponds. These animals have adapted to the constant dark within the cave by becoming blind and lacking any pigment in their skin. This also applies to the land creatures within the cave, including spiders and millipedes, leading to the discovery of several new species that have adapted to life within the underground tropical forest. This ecosystem is most definitely one of the most jaw-dropping natural phenomena. In 1987, some speleologists decided to explore the cave systems of Mount Owen in New Zealand. When they discovered something mind-blowing, they stumbled upon a bird claw with muscles and flesh still attached, but of an unusual size. After examination, the claw was determined to be a part of the now extinct moa bird, a flightless bird species. The bird is native to New Zealand, but the element of surprise was the level of preservation of the claw. The speleologists concluded that this was due to its location within the cave, which protected it from environmental elements. The moa bird went extinct about 700 to 800 years ago, and the bird claw was estimated to be about 3,300 years old at the point of discovery. Can you imagine that? Exploration of caves has led to the discovery of several strange cups. Strange because these cups are fashioned out of human skulls. It is even stranger to note that these cups have not been found in just one cave. They have been found in a number of caves across the world. Some of the most notable ones were the ones uncovered in a Somerset cave. These cups are thought to be the oldest of their kind and were found in Goes Cave in England. The scientists uncovered 3 cups made of human skulls, 2 of which belonged to adults and the last to a 3-year-old child. However, nothing about these cups suggests ritualistic killings or perhaps punishment, thankfully. All evidence points to the owners dying of natural deaths and their skeletons being put to good use by the early modern humans. In another slightly dark turn of events, one of the notable cave discoveries is the dismembered body of Joseph Henry Lovelace. A criminal who murdered his wife in 1916 escaped prison and disappeared shortly after. There were numerous posters and a search for him was carried out to no avail until decades later. His headless torso was first discovered wrapped in a sack in Buffalo Cave, Idaho, by a family exploring the caves searching for arrowheads in 1979. And then his hand was found in the same cave a little over a decade later in 1991. This led to an excavation and then the discovery of the remaining limbs. Because of the absence of a head, it wasn't until late 2019 that scientists were able to conclude the identity of the corpse. Apart from advanced technology, it also helped that Lovelace's grandson, who lived in California at the time, agreed to a DNA test. Just like that, the headless torso was confirmed to be Lovelace. While there is no information on the murderer, one of the more common theories is that he was killed by his wife's family in revenge for his act of murder. But that's just one speculation. Who do you think killed John Henry Lovelace? All the way in Chihuahua, Mexico, a cave connected to the Naica mine was discovered. Just above it is a smaller cave, the Cave of Swords, which was discovered by miners in 1910 and contains crystals. However, the actual Cave of Crystals was discovered in 2000 as a cavity located within the limestone surrounding the area. The floor of the cave is made of crystalline blocks with perfect facets, and it contains huge beams of crystal that extend from the floors and the walls. Sadly, these crystals begin to deteriorate on exposure to air, so the cave is not very accessible. The caves were only accessible by the water pumps used for mining activities, and though there are suggestions that more caverns could be found in that area, further explanation would require the removal of the crystals. Therefore, the cave has been left undisturbed since 2015. In 2012 in Chiapas, Mexico, the police walked into a cave and what they found startled them. They discovered about 150 human skulls within a cave, thinking they had stumbled upon a morbid crime scene. After inspection, however, it was discovered that these pre-Hispanic skulls did not come from recent times, but date as far back as 900 to 1200 AD. Therefore, they are more than 1,000 years old. The state of the remains led to the conclusion that a zompantli, otherwise known as an altar of skulls or a skull rack, was once constructed within the cave. Zompantli are traditional to the Aztecs and are consistent of racks of wood on which they would display the skulls of their victims in sacrificial killings. Zompantli or skull rack have also been discovered in other places queuing Chiapas, such as Banqueta's cave in the 1980s, which contained 124 skulls. Morbid as it is, this was just another one of the less than ideal activities of the Aztecs and other civilizations from that era. Caves might have fallen out of fashion now, but they remain very important relics of the past human history. Who knows, maybe you will make the next awesome cave discovery. Which discovery did you find the most shocking? Let us know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.